Hello. This is Nostrafini concerning the this past weekend's great battle. Nostrafini, you may have doubts him because I had predicted a line of victory that would, of course, the DraftKings quite a bit of bucks. Yes, and me a small fortune. Unfortunately, fate, oh, kid fate, intervened. There was cheating, there was controversy, there were draws, there were disqualifications, and there were fights that I honestly lost on their own merit. Now, let us start with the biggest uh, upset of the weekend. It was upsetting to me that Tank Davis didn't manage to knock out the monk Roach. He didn't catch the tank didn't run over the road or the cockroach. No. In fact, the cockroach fought quite well and outboxed, and outgutted the tank. You can imagine me watching this, saying, why didn't you bet on my little friend the roach? I didn't. Tank had such a reputation for being initially outboxed because he was a slow starter, and then examining him with his far highly tuned boxing IQ and catching up to numerous opponents. But he didn't catch up to the Roach. In fact, the Roach got him, outfought him. But if I had bet on the Roach, I would have lost anyway because it was a draw. Which is sort of like kissing your sister. You don't get the title and you don't get the bucks. Not that we should get bucks for kissing your sister. Oh, let's not go into that dark alley. This is boxing, the pure sort. Now let me say, the next fight, another controversy, was and one that I had bet on, Mr. Sander Martin, 42-3 with 15 KOs against Albert Kubo, 23-0 with 10 KOs. Martin is a master boxer from Spain. He was not so menacing, 5'7", 5'8", and he was fighting a man who had freakishly long arms and was quite the height, nearly 6 foot, Mr. Alberto. But Alberto had one weakness: inexperience, and the fact that he was fighting Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin managed to outfight, outbox, and totally dominate. Pay no attention to the ruffling in the back. That is a ghost. My room is haunted by a yes, haunted by a Smurf, a giant singing Smurf. Oh, you could imagine. Look, back off from Smurf. Yeah, oh my, his hand is showing. My God.
You want to pick the next questions?
Okay, well, this is boxing question. Like, okay, we're going to spontaneously do something we're not used to doing here.
Anyway,
You start at Sander Martin against Mr. Kubo.
Alberto?
Alberto. Yes, Alberto.
You talked about it, right?
I talked about it already. Now go to the next one.
So in a great fight by Jose Valencia versus Gary Antiros. What do you think about that fight and how you predicted that fight?
Well, a man of my age, let me look at that paper because I have to remind myself. I'm at that age when the synopses don't quite work. Wait, Gary? Russell against Jose Venezuela. Yes. Now, what happened was this. The pit bull, a previous opponent of Mr. Venezuela, had been outboxed by Mr. Venezuela, who is a boxer puncher, an aggressive boxer puncher. He managed to beat the bull, but he didn't take into account that he was fighting Gary Antonio Russell, 17 and 1 with 17 knockouts. This African American wonder has lightning fast fists, and it has a high boxing rate. Oh, Venezuela, I knew it was going to fall, but he put up a great fight. That's all Hispanic fighters. He had the heart of Puerto Rico by name. I think it's Puerto Rico. Could be Mexico. Same difference. Larger country, different people. Anyway, let me tell you something. Venezuela went the distance, but he took a beating. He was outboxed, outfought nearly every round by the amazing reincarnation of Aaron Pryor, Gary Russell, who comes from a boxing family, by the way, has been boxing since he was 4 years old. You know what I was doing at 4 years old? Being beaten up by the other 4 year olds. I was never athletic in that sense. I could have been, but I was shy and a coward. Anyway, give me a.
That was amazing. I like your prediction. It was sounded good.
Ah, yes.
But
That was when I won.
now we're talking about 1907.
19.
Yanis and Talix versus Julian Williams, 29-4-1.
Ah, now give me that thing, my friend. Remember,
I
don't
know you
show
saw
your
the
face.
fight.
I
Look.
saw the fight. I was there and
Look.
I was up throughout the fight. I didn't pass out.
Mhm.
Now, Mr. Tillis, 19-0 with 7 KOs, is from Cuba. Now, I can't say good things about Cuba that much as a communist dictatorship, but one thing they have is the finest fighters in the world. For proportionally a small population, their amateurs, when they turn pro, are nearly invincible. And he was fighting a Julian Williams, 29-4-1, 17 KOs, who was a former champion. Well, it's always a safe bet to bet on the Cuban. The Cuban won every round, but brave Julian fought like like a champ, like a former champ, and took the beating of his life, almost stopping the fight out of mercy of the nurse and the doctor and the audience and the judge. But he didn't. They let the fight go on to the very end, which means that Julian will probably be another stepping stone. They can't get the fight out of their bloods. Oh, yes, and Yunus Terrace will go on. The only people who will beat him are super fighters. Ah, Ness. Now there, Jared Hard against 25-3, 1 KO against 17 against Menstracio Gonzalo, 35-4. What happened in this fight? I don't know. I think I fell asleep. I'm an old man, my God. I'll look it up. I'll go back. I don't know when this fight. I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. Now, the rest of these fights weren't on the televised. There was Gio Lee Rosip Lopez, 17-0, against Carmine Machino. That was never on there. I tell you, I didn't see it, even in the prelims. Okay, I'll give you this. This is my henchman. Oh, that's why he's not showing his face. Henchmen never show their face. Yes, he's into peace. Oh, thank you. Oh, so he washed my hair, you know. Sometimes the henchman has to do jobs that are not traditionally henchman jobs. Do I look good? I think I look good. I think I look like, I don't know, Benjamin Franklin in better days.
You look like a rich man.
Ah, yes, I should be rich, but I'm rich in love and friends. Yes. Ah, now, El Grito Matthew. Sabrilla. Oh, pronounce this Hispanic name, my Hispanic friend.
Now we're around the corner right here. In the Supreme now, we have Sabriel Mateas versus Gabriel Valenzuelas.
Ah, another Venezuelan. Another one, a man with a Venezuelan name. But he's not, he's a welterweight. He's not a little featherweight. And he fought Mr. Gabriel, and I bet against Mr. Gabriel. And it was an honest bet. He had lost the fight. And he was a pressure fighter. A pressure fighter that goes in and fights you on the inside. Now, Mr. Gabriel had never been stopped, and it was a big puncher from the outside. I thought he would be too good, too Mr. Outside. And at first, for the first 3 rounds, he was. But then Mr. Gabriel fought. Mantis? Mantis? The praying mantis, he prayed on him. He walked through his punches. He landed his own hard punches. He started chopping up the face of Mr. Gabriel, an attractive man in his Hispanic way, but no longer at the end of that fight was he a woman's heartthrob. No, his blood was coming from his heart to his face. They stopped it on cuts in 6 rounds, 6 mere rounds. Well, you can imagine my horror. I had
round.
6 rounds of pure brutality. No, I'm ashamed of my own bloodlust. At the time, I was saying, "Stop it! Stop bloodlusting my champion." If it was reversed, I would have said, "Kill the bastard." I'm a contradiction. Do you like my hair? I think it's very becoming. It has no curls in it. They put conditioner in it.
It looks interesting.
It looks interesting. Oh my God, that's what people say when they look at a movie that they don't like. It was interesting. They want to say it was a piece of crap. That's Alfredo Santiago, 16-2 with 7 KOs against Javier Fontaine, 39-5 with 28 KOs. Now, this is interesting. Fontaine and Santiago were childhood friends, or not childhood friends. The Javier is much older. He was a mentor to Alfredo, but business comes first. Both were in a highway going into different directions. Santiago going up in the world, tall, rangy boxer puncher, and Javier coming from lighter weights, much older, going downhill, becoming a stepping stone for young men like Santiago. Yes. What was it to do? It was a crossroads fight, the survival of Fontaine's career versus the dreams of Santiago becoming true. Well, the dreams of Santiago became a nightmare for Fontaine. As he took a beating after a while, he fought a valiant fight. And I was on his side as an elderly man and him getting up there a little long in the tooth. He went down fighting. His corner rescued him as they should. Now for the kicker of the night. Alex.
Which one?
The one that starts with the X.
All right, now we have here 32-6. Zio Lizani. No,
Even
no
he's having
Gini.
trouble with this man.
32-6 versus 23-0. Nestor Bravo.
Now let me tell you, this was the fight that I should have bet on the underdog.
Should have.
I should, but I didn't, because I thought the underdog was truly the underdog.
It
and
was unpredictable.
It was unpredictable. The man, let's just call him X, so we don't have to go through me. Beat Mr. Bravo handily, because Mr. Bravo did look fierce. Oh, with his 23-0 record with 16 KOs, and he had a mean look on his face. And I thought he would be a Speedy Gonzalez. He was not a Speedy Gonzalez. He was a Slowy Gonzalez. Slow of foot, slow of hand, and was outboxed by Mr. X, who had a month's training, who usually is thrown into the wolves. So Mr. X won a handy victory. And I did not bet on that handy victory. What does this all mean? That
his prediction is wrong.
Yes, that Nostrafini is not infallible. Well, you know what that means. The apocalypse. The world is going to end in 3 weeks. There's going to be a meteorite hitting us pretty soon.
It's going to rain inside the apartment.
It'll rain inside the apartment. And I don't even have a leaky roof. Oh. Now this last fight, Grace Taylor was fighting a man who who is 6-0 with 4 KOs, was fighting a man, Trevor Couture, who I believe was recruited from a local bar. And it was one body punch. He hit that beer belly, Price did, and the man went down. It was a debacle. I don't know even how much money I lost or won. I blanked it out. For your sakes, I don't want to cry. I'm not a crier. I won't cry.
What about the main event?
I did the main event already.
So you think it was a fair fight that Tank lost to won the
I believe Tank lost this fight, and I bet on Tank. One thing I play it straight. I regret that I didn't pay draw because that was the least likely event. And that's why I was made a fortune. I'd be rich.
Yeah, but a lot of fans are saying that it was Rob.
It was a robbery of all right. The Roach should have won. What was it, his last name? A man named Roach? Do you want a Roach to be champion of the world? No, you want a Tank. But Tank Davis, the tattooed man, as I call him, the illustrated man, lost. Lost to a man who doesn't even have a one tattoo on his body. A man of pure of heart. A man who believes in a God above. As I do. Although that God above didn't go on my side this time.
So you think Rhodes' strategy to win this fight was smart or it was just coincidence?
No, it's brilliant. He fought Tank when he wanted to. He got out of range of Tank, and he did have a great chin.
Oh, Iron Chin.
Iron chin, a rubberized chin that would go if he hit, he would bounce back with it. He wouldn't crack. Tank. If they have a rematch, Tank better improve, or Tank will go into the tank.
Well, Tank needs to go into a bigger tank.
Oh yes, oh bigger fighters. Now people know the recipe, and his aura of invincibility is destroyed. Now this is. I'm going to sign off. Wave goodbye with your hand, Invisible Man. Yes, and then we're going to play this back and see if it's entertaining.
Oh, hold on.
What?
We gotta sing the song. So we finish out the song.
What was the song?
The Vinny song. Ah.
There once was a man named Vinny who
Uh-huh.
predicted a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Vinny's a good singer, even though he gives you a lot of guff.
Hmm.
He's a fine man. He tries to make your life easier, and he hopes you'll do it for him.
Yeah.
His weakness is, even though he's dignified,
He got gray hair.
and he has gray hair, and he's over the hill. I left my heart in the 1980s when I was young, in those pictures too. Normally, I would call the police because the background person who's singing with me, it's obviously a noise pollution.
It's a
It's a, oh
pollution.
my God, I think I'm having an aneurysm. Ah, I will sign off now for the sake of all humanity and anybody who's listening to this. Oh, yes. Goodbye, goodbye, my friend. I think you've been witness to a murder.